State Marco Rubio has officially listed 4 European Antifa groups as terrorist organizations. These groups are based in Germany, Italy, and Greece and will formally be designated next week. Now they're in the same category as ISIS-K and Al-Shabaab, which means that it's illegal for Americans to support them. This move follows President Donald Trump's push to target Antifa, who he labeled a domestic terrorist organization back in September. He also ordered federal agencies to take action against the group.
Well, the House is rushing to vote on releasing the Jeffrey Epstein files, driven by a rare bipartisan petition with 218 signatures. Newly released documents show that President Donald Trump's name in Epstein's emails, raising questions about their connection. The White House says that the emails clear the president, but lawmakers are pushing for full transparency. Speaker Mike Johnson is expected to bring the bill to the floor soon.
Well, some federal services are getting back to normal this morning after the government shutdown, but others are still facing delays. The Agricultural Secretary says that SNAP benefits should be out by Monday, and some federal workers may start getting back pay today. Other agencies warn that it could take up to a week to pay their staff. The Smithsonian is gradually reopening its museums and the zoo, with the National Gallery fully opened by this weekend. Meanwhile, national parks are struggling with litter and graffiti due to limited staff. The FAA is still restricting some flights.
Well, 2 big tech companies are teaming up with 2 state attorneys general to make artificial intelligence safer. North Carolina Attorney General Jeff Jackson and Utah Attorney General Derek Brown have formed a bipartisan AI task force. Their goal is to set simple safeguards for AI developers to protect users and to spot new risks. OpenAI and Microsoft are already on board, with more states and tech companies expected to join. So right now, there's no broad law regulating AI, so this task force could be a big step for safer technology.
Millions of AT&T customers may get money from a $177 million settlement. This follows 2 data breaches last year that exposed personal information for over 70 million people. The first breach leaked addresses, social security numbers, and passcodes, while the second exposed call and text records. Affected customers could receive up to $7,500. AT&T doesn't dispute the breaches but denies its wrongdoing. The deadline to file a claim is December 18th.
Well, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says some TSA employees will soon get a $10,000 bonus check. So yesterday she handed out checks to nearly 24 TSA workers at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston. Noem said more employees will be getting these bonuses, but didn't share details on who qualifies or how many of them will receive them.
Travel from Canada to the U.S. is dropping. New data shows this morning that air travel to the U.S. fell nearly 24% last month, and car travel dropped over 30% compared to last year. So this marks the 10th straight month with fewer Canadians that are visiting the United States. And this includes tensions over tariffs and political rhetoric that may have been parts of many Canadians choosing to spend their money and just stay at home. Usually Canadians make up about a quarter of all foreign visitors to the United States.
Well, mortgage rates went up for the second week in a row after hitting their lowest point this year. According to Freddie Mac, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate was 6.24% for the week ending Thursday. This is a small rise from the week before. Rates had been dropping steadily before the Fed made its second rate cut last month, and since then they've stayed mostly flat as investors wait to see what the Fed will do next.
All right, all my chip connoisseurs, listen up here. Cheetos and Doritos are going naked, y'all. Okay, let's explain this. PepsiCo is launching new versions of these popular snacks without artificial flavors or dyes. That means that they'll have a natural pale yellow color that you see on your screen right there, instead of the bright orange that we've all grown up with and are used to. The company says the Simply Naked snacks will taste just like the originals, which will still be available. You'll be able to find those Doritos, different flavors, Dorito nacho cheese and Cool Ranch as well, with Cheeto Puffs and Flaming Hot Cheetos hitting stores next month.
Flaming Hot also? That'll be interesting.
We do love the Flaming Hot Cheetos here in South Texas.
That is fascinating. Although I think I'm for it because, you know, they've come out with all these studies that say the dyes are bad. So, hey, good on them for adapting. We'll see how they taste. If they taste the same, well, then that'll be a good thing. All right, what's ahead? The weekend is going to be hot and humid. Morning clouds, just like we saw this morning. We're going to do that on repeat over the weekend. Next system, we think arrives sometime between Wednesday and Friday. Now, you're probably asking, well, why such a wide range of time there? Well, we've different computer models showing different things, and it's another one of those cutoff lows, which is going to make it a little tricky to time out here. But rainfall does look good, at least for now. So it's encouraging as we look down the line. Let me show you the here and now. We've got clouds out there at this hour, those morning low clouds, and they've banked up right against the escarpment, as they often do. Here around San Antonio, if you're on the southwest side, the sun is shining through. If you're on the north side, it is overcast and fairly overcast on the east side of Bexar County as well. We'll see how long these clouds last. They can sometimes, hold on for several hours in the morning. It does seem, though, that we're starting to get some more breaks, and the more sun we get, the hotter it'll be this afternoon, but I do think temperatures still will make the mid-80s. Right now, 69 at the airport, 70 Port SA, 65 hello to 66 right now in Comfort. It has been warm all morning long and humid. Those dew points are in the mid-60s. That is not what we would expect in November, and for a long stretch, too. I mean, all the way into the probably middle part of next week, we're going to see dew points like this. So that will keep morning lows up, and that will just keep the overall sticky feeling in the atmosphere. Noontime today, 80. We're going to call it sunny. Those clouds should eventually go away, and then up to 85 for high. That is 10 to 15 degrees above average. And for any plans you have tonight, just know it'll be mild. Temperatures in the 70s. You won't really even need a coat with temperatures probably not getting down into the 60s until, say, 10 or 11 o'clock tonight. So for the Friday night football game, Sotomayor versus Brandeis, one of many good games. That's at Fair Stadium. Temperatures will be in the 70s. It's not going to feel like November football weather at all. All right, weekend breakdown, 85 Saturday, 85 Sunday. I mean, these are basically carbon copies of what we're seeing today. Same situation, morning clouds, humid, and warm afternoons. Headed to Worst Fest. Looks good. Just stay hydrated. It'll be warm. All right, Futurecast. This is the first upper level low that we were hoping would bring us some rain. It moves too far north. It's a non-factor. But there's another low that develops behind this, and most of these models, or at least a couple of them, have this as a cutoff low. And just like the last system, if you remember, they are a little erratic and a little tricky to forecast. So for right now, we're going to say that Thursday and Friday may be our best chance of rain. This one's one of our slower models, brings it in more so on Friday. But I still have some models that bring this in on Thursday. Bottom line, we're just going to have to kind of wait and see. But the best odds are going to be between Wednesday and Friday. Storms will be possible with this system. The atmosphere is just set up for it. But again, just know that timing is going to have to be tweaked. Right now, we have our highest rain chance on Thursday at 40%. And we'll continue to update this forecast as we get a little closer. 85, as we said, Saturday, Sunday, 86 Monday, and still warm going into next week, although we may get a little bit cooler weather with some of those showers and storms on Thursday. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to GMSA at 9 o'clock. Well, next year you can put more money into your retirement accounts. The IRS just announced higher contribution limits for retirement plans. The 401k limit is going up by $1,000. That is the same increase that's applying to 403b plans, government 457 plans, and the federal thrift savings plan as well for people older than 50 years old. The catch-up contribution limit is rising by $500. Plus, the limits for both types of IRA accounts is also increasing by $500.
Well, Toyota is recalling nearly 127,000 Toyota and Lexus vehicles because of a possible engine problem. The company says debris from the manufacturing process could get into the engine and damage the main bearings, which could make the engine stall or lose power. So that recall affects the 2020 to 2022 models that you see there on your screen, and Toyota is still working on a fix. Once it's ready, the repairs will be free.
All right, yes, so we are getting you going on your Friday morning. Appreciate you guys being with us as we get you into the 60s right now, and we're looking at 9:26 on your Friday morning.
Yeah, still ahead here on GMSA at 9. This Thanksgiving, San Antonio's Raul Jimenez dinner is ready to serve a record crowd this year. So joining us in just a few minutes, we're going to tell us about this year's efforts. We'll have Patricia Jimenez on how you can help support this important tradition. Hi, welcome back. It is 9:30, and this Thanksgiving, San Antonio's Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner, a longtime holiday tradition, is gearing up to serve a record crowd to increased need and economic challenges.
Yeah, this event is one of the things that truly makes San Antonio great. KSAT Community is hosting a live phone bank on Monday, so you can also call in and make a donation to support this important mission. And joining us this morning to tell us all about the efforts this year is going to be Patricia Jimenez. Thank you very much for joining us, Patricia. Appreciate it. And first of all, we've been preparing reporting that you guys are expecting a record amount of meals that will be served this year. Talk about what you guys are seeing in terms of just the need in the community.
There's been a great need. We just closed out our homebound meal delivery, and we're exceeding the 500 extra meals for this year because there have been so many people just needing our help. We have been working with nonprofits. We've taken calls from nonprofits, social workers at schools needing to help secure meals for their children, their school children who also are displaced. And so last year we saw a greater attendance more than ever. And so this year, especially with the way things are, we want to make sure that we have enough food so that everyone who walks in the door will have a place to be. So we thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.
Absolutely. And we're looking at some of the video there. Patricia, I wanted to ask you a little bit about, I grew up here in San Antonio. Most people who have grown up here or just lived here a while, very familiar with Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner. Let's go back to 1979 and tell us a little bit about how this all started.
Well, my father was a businessman here in town, and he knew that the community had contributed to his success, and he said, I want to give back, and I want to do something where I know there's a great need. And he knew that seniors were often alone and didn't have a place to go. So it started out for seniors, and the first year, with the help of his friends, they had about 200 seniors that came to the event. And then it's now, fast forwarding to 2025, we welcome everyone. We serve homeless individuals, veterans, families, underprivileged families. If you're in the military and you don't have family here because you're away from home for the first time, please join us. We are a community table, a feast of the heart. So we're not just there to provide a meal, we're there to provide food for the soul as well. And especially right now with the way things are, we feel like there are people that are in more need than ever. We hear it in their voices when they call us, asking to please be considered for a homebound meal and asking more information on how they can come to the event.
And speaking of that event, I mean, that takes a lot of resources, a lot of help, a lot of money also.
Yes.
Tell the community a little bit about, how much goes into it, because it's not just the meals there. I mean, there's also deliveries that day as well.
Yes. Last year we served 4,700, or we delivered 4,317 meals, and this year we're going to be delivering more than 4,800. So it's gone up there. Plus, we're preparing enough meals for 29,000. And that's just to ensure that whoever walks in the door will get a meal, because there's no registration. You just walk in the door and you have a beautiful setting where you come and sit down and break bread with a lot of wonderful people in the community.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Patricia, for being with us. Of course, keeping your father's legacy alive there. The Raul Jimenez dinner taking place, obviously, during Thanksgiving. But KSAT community, again, we want to remind everyone out there, we're hosting this live phone bank. And I think you're going to be here with us?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
From beginning to end.
Yes, there we go. That's going to be starting at 9 o'clock in the morning, Monday. You could call in, make a donation to support thousands of meals that are going out to those in need.
And again, that number there is on your screen, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. again on Monday. So for more information, you can head over for now to our website, ksatcommunity.com. Well, San Antonio seniors looking for something fun to do. Listen up. Happening today, District 1 office is hosting its 3rd annual senior turkey dinner from 4 to 7 p.m. at St. Anne's Catholic Church. So the seniors can enjoy a free holiday meal, live performances, and also take photos at a photo booth. There will also be door prizes.
All right, taking a look at live cam as we get you going here, 9:34, and I absolutely love talking about the Jimenez dinner. I know that this is a big community event. It's not really feeling like November temperatures though, Justin, outside, as we give you a look here on this Friday morning.
That's okay. The food will put you in the mood.
There you go.
That's all it takes. Yeah, it is a little warm out there. We're going to see a pretty warm stretch. The hope is that maybe we do get some cooler weather by Thanksgiving, but we're not quite there yet. Let me show you the pollen count. Molds are low at 180, and I said yesterday when they were at 210, that's about as low as they go. Well, clearly I was wrong, because they've gone even lower now. This is a good stretch of low allergens for us because, well, we know what's around the corner once we get into December. Forecast highs. These are nothing short of impressive. 72 is our average this time of year. We're running, again, 10 to 15 degrees above that, 85 to 86 over the next 4 or 5 days. So just be ready for some warmth. The clouds are helping a little bit this morning, but those will burn off. Rain chances, and this is what I think everyone's kind of really looking at, is when are we going to get some rain, because it has been so very long. Right now, Wednesday into Thursday, I think, is when we start to ramp those rain chances up. There's still some timing questions there, but my hope is that we do get some scattered rain and maybe some thunderstorms back in the forecast. And we'll take another look at that forecast for you, looking ahead to next week coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Justin. Traffic is looking great if you're about to step outside right now. 35 at Flores Street, of course, still dealing with some construction downtown, but no major accidents across the city of San Antonio. Quick reminder, Spurs late tip-off tonight, 8:30, but Walter Street, East Houston, obviously Frostbank Center Parkway, they're going to be pretty busy. Make sure to give yourself enough time so you're not stuck in those pregame traffic jams headed out to the Frostbank Center.
And some of your morning headlines, a mother and father from San Marcos want you to hear their daughter's story. So for months, they lived a nightmare, watching their 14-year-old Gia Rodriguez struggle with headaches, mouth sores, and even slurred speech. Yeah, definitely some frightening stuff. They discovered that she was fighting something that many of us may have not even heard of. This is Sjogren's disease. Our Stefania Jimenez shares how this family hopes that their daughter's journey will bring hope, answers, and also healing to others who may be facing the same fight.
Every time I talk about this, I get emotional.
Pictures rarely give you the full story. When you look at these images of 14-year-old Gia Rodriguez, you see a bubbly, healthy young woman. You'd have no idea what she's endured. Her parents, Olivia Torres and Donnie Rodriguez, gave me the Cliff's Notes version of the last few months.
Little growth she had that was growing over one of her molars.
Also, minor headaches here and there.
Donnie says Gia's ailments persisted for months until one day her symptoms got worse.
My wife calls me and she says, you know, we need to probably take her to the emergency because she's complaining of a really bad headache and she's slurring.
After a battery of tests, doctors thought they had a diagnosis.
You know, Gia has a tumor.
But that wasn't it. After a week in the hospital, antibiotics, and more tests, doctors finally found the culprit, Sjogren's disease, a chronic autoimmune disorder that affects the glands that produce tears and saliva. It may not sound serious, but left untreated, Sjogren's can cause serious complications of the organs or neurological issues, which is what Gia was experiencing.
That caused her brain to swell, and it cut off her blood flow to that artery. And
Sjogren's affects about 4 million Americans, but it's tricky to diagnose, especially in children, something pediatric rheumatologist Dr. Sarah Stern hopes will change.
Kids make more tears and they make more saliva. We know that they make more tears and more saliva than adults. So we don't have any normative data in the childhood form to say that they are truly dry. And in order to get to the adult classification criteria of severe dryness, they have to be very, very severe dryness.
Right now, there's no cure or FDA-approved treatment for Sjogren's disease. So Gia's following a healthful diet, medical treatment, and taking a cocktail of drugs to manage her symptoms.
you know, you don't ever want to see your kids go through anything.
But Gia's hopeful, and from what I saw of her, tough. So are her parents, who hope you learn about Sjogren's disease, because if by any chance you're among the thousands who every year finds out you have the disease, you know to get the help you need.
Ask questions. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself.
Especially with the kids, you know.
Stefania Jimenez, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thank you very much for that, Stefania. The Sjogren's Foundation is a great resource. You can read the latest treatments and support groups for Sjogren's patients on their website, which we also have a link to our website, ksat.com.
Well, we are learning more about the infant botulism outbreak that prompted ByHeart to recall its infant formula. And earlier this week, we reported that ByHeart pulled its formula from the store shelves. And the Food and Drug Administration says at least 15 babies were hospitalized after consuming the formula, with some confirmed or suspected to have botulism, a serious bacterial infection that can cause muscle paralysis. Now, several families have filed lawsuits against ByHeart, claiming the formula was defective and that the company was negligent in selling it. And we spoke with the attorney representing these families.
I think, unfortunately, we're going to see more children getting sick because, you know, the product just got off the market, and, you know, the incubation period could be 4 to 6 weeks. But, you know, I mean, it can cause, paralysis of the muscles. It can stop your heart. It can stop breathing. We're just lucky that at this stage we haven't seen any of that.
Well, BioHeart formula is sold online and at Target, Albertsons, and Whole Foods. If you have it, the company says to stop giving it to your baby right away.
Okay, time now is 9:40, 69 degrees outside on this Friday morning. You're watching GMSA at 9 o'clock.
Well, coming up, feral pigs are moving closer to home and why these invasive animals are no longer just a rural issue and what it means for your neighborhood.
Feral pigs may soon be coming to a neighborhood near you. Invasive pigs have long been a problem in Texas, accounting for $670 million in agricultural losses. But it appears their destruction may be transitioning from a rural problem to a metropolitan problem. Here's why the pigs in suburbia are commingling. This Helotes resident was sent running when he noticed this sounder of sizable pigs across the street. Conflicts with pigs are nothing new to those who live on the outskirts of San Antonio. But as the city sprawls, the run-ins are becoming even more common.
It's been amazing to me over the last year and a half, the more and more phone calls I'm getting from neighborhoods in big cities, medium cities, city parks and recs departments.
Jay Long has researched feral pigs for years. And he knows pig damage when he sees it. Here in Friedrich Park, just inside San Antonio city limits, you'll find plenty of signs of their relentless rooting.
This neighborhood here behind me sits right next to Friedrich Wilderness Park, and we're told that residents here have had issues with pigs rooting up their flower bed and tearing up their lawns.
That's usually what spurs most of my phone calls from neighborhoods. Is we've had 20 houses in the neighborhood get their entire front yard looking exactly like this.
But what exactly can neighborhoods do? Here's where it gets tricky. HOAs and city ordinances make it tough in a suburban setting. Long says trapping is often the best bet, but do know it can be expensive. It should also be noted that feral pigs, despite their large size, don't normally pose a physical threat to humans. It's their destruction to property and disease risk that makes them a real hazard.
Those diseases can be spread to humans, pets, other wildlife, other livestock.
Which is why Long hopes to see less run-ins like this one by creating an allied force against these unwanted visitors. Justin Horn, KSAT 12 News.
Very comfortable there going through the trash.
Yeah, I actually had a run-in in my neighborhood once with these pigs. It's a thing, and they're an invasive species. They found, though, this is interesting, if they get rid of some of these pigs, which it's a statewide issue, then some of the nature and then the native species come back, like javelinas, which do much less damage. And I didn't realize javelinas and wild pigs are not related, really. They come from completely different branches. So anyway, I could go on and on.
Yeah.
But interesting stuff there about the pigs. All right, let's jump into what's going on across the country today. It's going to be a warm one. In Texas, 85 here in San Antonio. Some places could be up near 90. So Lone Star State will be one of the warmest places on the map. And we've got warm temperatures, though, spreading all the way up the plains. So you're talking the Dakotas, temperatures in the 70s, which for mid-November is very rare, and temperatures in most cases are running some 15 to 20 degrees, 15 to 20 degrees warmer than what they would normally see up there. Here in Texas, we're running about 10 to 15 degrees warmer. So it's warm all the way around. That's the bottom line. And if you look forward in time here, it stays that way into the weekend and into Sunday. It's going to be very, very warm across the country. You start to see some cooler weather coming in on the shores, the East Coast and the West Coast, but the middle part of the country is just going to be really baking over the next several days. Let's take a look at the satellite picture here. And we are still watching some of those morning clouds. It's taking some time for them to break apart, but we are seeing more sun kind of shifting south to north at this point, and we should see the clouds continue to slowly break apart, and we'll see more of the blue sky like that. Temperatures right now, 69 in San Antonio, 67 in New Braunfels, 68 Converse, 64 right now in Bernie, and 69 in Stinson. So it's still pretty mild, but once that sun comes out, you'll see a rapid warm up, 80 noontime. And then we'll be up around 85 for a high this afternoon. Then down into the 70s tonight, 78 at 7 p.m., 75 at 8 p.m., and 72 at 9 p.m. All right, weekend breakdown. If you got plans, just know it's going to be basically what we deal with today. Clouds in the morning, sun in the afternoon, and a high temperature of 85. Pretty consistent, right? But just know it'll be warm wherever you go if you have outdoor plans. All right, Futurecasts. We talked about this last half hour, but I think it's worth mentioning again that we've got an area of low pressure that's going to develop early next week. But this thing is still out over the Pacific. And I said the same exact thing earlier this week with this first system, is we don't have a lot of data that goes into this, and the models just typically do not handle these systems well. So I would say, let's keep our mind open here as far as the timeline for this. It's going to change. It will. But right now we're thinking the best odds for rain will be Wednesday into Friday evening. Storms will be possible with this. If you look at the orientation of the storm system itself and just the ingredients that we have in the atmosphere, it would seem to me that we would get some storms or maybe a couple strong ones. But it's a little early to talk about that yet. And just know that it's subject to change. But late next week, my hope is that we get some rain back in the picture. As far as tomorrow's college football games, we want to give you a quick overview of the forecast for those. Of course, our UTSA Roadrunners head to Charlotte. Temperatures in the 60s here. Great football weather, no rain. The South Carolina Gamecocks come to Kyle Field in College Station. It will be in the 80s. It will be warm for that game with partly cloudy skies. UCF visits Lubbock. This is pretty interesting because temperatures there could be on the verge of 90 degrees. Of course, Central Florida is probably used to that, but at any rate, warm for a late November game. And then, of course, Texas heads to Athens, Georgia. This is the big game. Should be a really good one with clear skies and temperatures in the 70s for that battle. All right, the extended forecast. Well, we talked about the weekend, and really it stays warm into next week, but we'll have to wait and see how those rain chances unfold. Again, right now we have a 40% chance on Thursday, and that still looks to me to be the day that if we're going to see some storms, that's probably going to be it.
Yeah, I'm okay though for the mild temperatures for the most part, but yeah, Thursday that'll be interesting.
Any predictions for the Texas-Georgia game?
That's really
no,
good.
I will stay out of that one.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, well, how about what I hope? Of course I want
I have a
UT to
prediction.
win, but I
Okay,
just
that's
don't
fair.
know.
I have a
fair.
prediction.
You're a good
lot of
journalist.
people will watch it. That's my prediction, and
that's a
it's
good
on
prediction.
KSAT 12. Watch it. Texas.
Yes. So
Georgia.
Yeah. So hopefully, yeah, hopefully. All right. Well, let's go ahead and check in with our friends at SA Live and see what they're up to this weekend.
You know, I got to tell you, AI really is changing everything, right? What did we hear this week, Jen?
Yes, so we heard, and maybe you guys did too, Matthew McConaughey and Michael Caine are teaming up with an AI audio company. So they're licensing their voices to be used for different things, you know, from campaigns, digital media, even book narrations. Like, did you guys hear that?
I heard something
yeah,
about
we've been
it.
hearing.
They both have iconic voices, so that makes sense.
That would, I mean.
Yeah. So our question then today got us talking.
Yes, we want to know, who do you want to voice your AI? If it could be anybody.
I say Denzel.
Oh, Denzel, that's a good one. Okay.
like
James Earl Jones.
I was gonna say yes.
That's a
James Earl.
solid choice.
I have one. I would love for Morgan Freeman to narrate my life. That would be the greatest thing in this. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one too. I like that. Was it Attenborough, the guy, the British guy that does the nature ones?
Oh, yeah, that'd be
David
cool.
Attenborough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love those voices.
There's a lot of good ones. Yeah, so scan the QR code, weigh in, let us know who you'd like to hear with AI. I can't believe that. I feel like we're living in the future, Fiona.
Right.
All right, well, speaking of celebrities, okay, if you're a fan of the hit series Landman, we have a celebrity chat today with 2 of the Star Season 2 drops this weekend, y'all. And we did ask what spot they hit up in Texas that they loved. So wait for that. You gotta wait to see what they say about that.
All right, and if you've ever wondered what it would be like to bring a T-Rex to your birthday party or have a Velociraptor crash at your company event, well, wonder no more. Sean Salazar is over there from Jurassic SA. Come on over. Sean, okay, who's that you got back there?
Oh, this right here is Rocco.
Okay.
One of our biggest celebrities right there. This is a rare privilege, and right next to him is actually his little brother. That's Jonesy.
Oh, I see y'all are playing a game, so that's part of the fun, right?
Well, technically it's not a game. I'm trying to get it from him, but he likes to play games. So.
Yeah, those are some sharp teeth, okay? We're going to be talking all about Jurassic SA and how those dinos can come to your next event.
And warning, if you hear screams this weekend, it might be coming from, not the T-Rex over here, but from Fear Fest. Find out which horror stars will be in town and how you can get some meet and greets. And we've got some fun characters in studio today.
Right.
I'm excited about that.
And pie, oh pie, how you can take your Thanksgiving to the next level with these desserts from an executive chef. Oh my goodness,
The studio
right?
smells so good right now. You got to stick around, guys.
All that and more when SA Live continues in just a few.